Oh man, I've decided from now on I'm gonna wear a GoPro every time I ride, because last week I got attacked by a German Shepherd, and a guy was walking it on the trail, and I came up behind him, and he didn't have the dog on a leash, and as soon as the dog saw me, he went right for it, turned around and came right at me. And the only thing I could do was point my bike head at him, head on, and make him choose a side as I was slowing down. And he went around to my right hand side, and I jumped off the bike to the left as he was trying to bite my thigh, my right thigh, and he missed, and he ended up getting my shoe. And then I had the bike between me and the shepherd. The guy was like, the owner was like another 20 yards down the trail, and he was running to me and yelling at the dog, you know, yelling off. The dog wasn't listening. The dog tried to go around my rear tire to get to me, and I had to pivot the bike around. And at that point, the guy got there, and as soon as the guy got to the dog laid down on the ground. But if I had been a jogger, that dog would have had a piece of me. There would have been nothing I can do, you know, without having the bike as a barrier. So, and that and so many other weird things have happened while I'm riding. You know, I've seen so many weird things. So I'm in here today. I'm getting over being sick. I've been sick all week. The first time I got sick all season, all winter, so I'm not complaining, but being off the bike for a week and being sick, you know, losing my endurance that I had is kind of frustrating. But yeah, so as a result of that situation, I have pepper spray in my pocket, a little bottle that we used to carry in the police department. I always buy the same kind, and thought about mounting it somewhere on my bike, because the way that went down last week, that happened so fast. I don't know if I would have had time to reach in my pocket and even grab it. So we'll see. But yeah, so the GoPro, I'm gonna get a bigger SD card for it so that I can just let it run. I think it'll run for about 40-45 minutes on the battery in the card. So usually one craps out and then you're done. And I have it empty today. I think the battery's charged, but yeah, that's how I'm gonna roll from now on. But yeah, you know, I've seen lots of different wild animals. I saw my first coyote in here a couple weeks back, and it was just running down the path like I wasn't even there. It was ahead of me about 40 yards, but it just ran down the trail and then ducked into the brush on the side. It wasn't a big one, smaller than a German Shepherd for sure, way bigger than a fox, but you know, they're in the area, and usually, you know, you're not going to see them. You hear them more than you see them, especially at night. But But yeah, like weird encounters with people that I've had. Like, for some reason, the state park seemed to draw some very unique individuals. I can say that for sure. So, campsites up here. So I figured, you know what? I'll put the camera on. And then if I have an encounter or a situation, I'll download it and save it. And then maybe a year from now, I'll edit it all together and put a compilation together of all the weird stuff that I've seen in the state park. But today, just wanted to get back on the bike, taking it easy, you know. Endurance, like I said, you know, a week off the bike and being sick, you lose it. You know, not all of it, but not where I was. We had a lot of rain last week. Like, there's never usually water in there. So there's certain trails I can't go on because I know they're gonna be like a foot underwater. I rode down one 2 weeks ago that usually has water in it after it rains, and I figured, what the heck, let me just go see. And the water was so deep that every time I pedaled down, my shoe was completely underwater, and that was in like 40-degree weather. So I'm not going on that trail today because I know it's gonna be bad. But just nice to be back on the bike, getting out, getting some exercise, getting some sun, put some miles down. The lake's really high. Like, that trail down there is flooded. That's one of the trails I usually ride. That's completely underwater. Not gonna hit that. I think I'm gonna dive in here, cross over to where the cabins are, and I know that trail where it crosses over the other lake is going to be a little wet. I'll just go really slow. It's usually not too bad. We'll see. You know, the bike's clean, of course. Seems like every time I clean the bike up real nice and oil the chain, it rains for 3 days straight. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I've got like almost 600 miles on this Trek Top Fuel now. I really like this bike. It's a great all-around bike. It's, you know, it's a happy medium. It's not a race bike, and it's definitely not a downhill bike. It's not even an extreme air bike, or not even an extreme air, but a moderate air bike. Like, you don't want to get too much air on this bike. It's only 120 mils front and back, but it'll, you know, you can launch it. It'll suck up some stuff pretty good. But the thing that's good about it is the efficiency, you know. And I think a lot of people, when they buy a bike that's not suited for where they actually are riding. You know, they see a bike with big suspension and it looks cool. You know, it might have like 140, 150 mil travel forks on it. You think, oh wow, get that. And what happens is it's not good to pedal, and it wears you out and you can't keep up, and they lose interest. So, you know, me being a little older, doing a lot of research before I bought this bike. You know, I knew I wasn't going to be going crazy like I used to do. Too old for that now. This is where I thought it was going to be wet, and it's not really too bad. So, you know, this is one spot here. Trying not to throw mud up all over my bike. That's about the the lowest spot coming around this second lake. So the rest of this should be good. In fact, I'm gonna pedal up this hill. They have a horse and equine center. This is a little wet. Where they ride horses in certain areas down here. And it's right up here in this field. So I'm gonna go up this hill. Yeah, see this, they're supposed to ride like around here.